Online during first edition. Wait a minute.
No, that was
exactly. You got
that was Steven's encyclopedic book that I have that says it. I think.
Yeah, quoted Abraham Lincoln. An email he sent. Yeah.
That's right.
Anyway.
Oh, dear.
Okay, so we're in the dock war.
So we're on the docks. We're on the docks.
We're on the docks.
Suddenly a shot rang out. Wait, no.
So Eric, we were just talking about what an adventure party would get into just coming into port and coming off of a ship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so take it from there.
Well, I don't want to interrupt you guys if you're in a flow. If you're not, I have ideas.
No, you go right ahead.
Yeah. When we have flows, we need to call a plumber.
That's right. Unless you're in Texas, then nothing's flowing right now.
Oh dear.
So, well, first off, someone's going to be greeting the ship, right? Because you got to pay some sort of tax.
Right.
To
we did that.
Okay, you paid
Eric,
the tax.
Eric, we're on the docks. We're on the docks.
We're on the
actually
docks.
on the docks.
Yeah.
Have you made it through the throng of people that come to greet you?
Yeah.
Yes.
We've gone through Stephen's urchins. We've done those.
That's
as well.
right.
Have you met the cult of Sneel yet?
No, we have been avoiding the cult
haven't.
of steel.
But before we discuss that, can I throw in one tiny little shop front
Yes.
close to the docks that people would want to go to? Especially
Sure, yeah.
those who are the first time in the city. The Surveyors, Map, and Chart Makers Guild keeps a storefront within a couple of streets of the docks.
What street
And
is
for
it on?
those
Do you
that
know?
are first-time visitors to the city, this is the best place to go because for a certain amount of coin, if you tell them the place you want to get to or the person you need to see, they either will have a young lad to run you there, or they can give you a map of the city that will get you to that location for a fee. You know,
Jeff,
or if you've got
Ship
a
Street.
person walk with you.
Ship Street. Thank you.
Ship Street.
Oh, it's not the Angry Coxswain, is it?
No.
Okay. What was the name? What was the name of the place?
I didn't give it a name yet. Give me time.
Just says Warm Beds. Is that could that
But
be it?
it's affiliated with the Surveyors, Maps, and Chart Makers Guild. It's you know.
Let's see.
Well, let's call it Finder's Way. Let's give it that for the shop front. And you know, maybe it's it's got a small chapel to Finder Wyvernspur for that matter, unless it's too on the nose. You know?
I like that.
Anyway,
We do on the nose in Dockboard.
yeah,
That's
we
right.
do. We do. So in any case, that's the sort of NPC that I would throw in if I were a GM with people first visiting the city. Here's someone that is willing to help you, that will show you exactly where you want to get to. And all the other stuff that will distract you along the way, that's Waterdeep. But, you know, here's always going to be somebody that will show you exactly where you need to get to. So if you say, you've got to get to this pawn shop by sundown on this day.
We'll show you where you gotta go, whether you want to get there or not.
Yeah, exactly.
So, in practical
now-
terms, Ed, when you ran your company of crazed venturers, Waterdeep
Yes.
back in the day, and I suppose this is very player.
1978.
There you
Wow.
go. Did they have email then? No. So they
We teletyped machines, and we liked it.
so you had
Because of the vapors off the
so you had your
George.
PCs. You had your PCs. They're on the docks. No. Okay. So were they the type to ask you what every single shop was, or every single place, or did you kind of guide them to locate? Because I'm trying to think of ways that you can assist a DM who's probably a bit overawed by the scope and magnitude of Waterdeep and all of the information that's in it.
Well, here's
do you
the
have any
thing.
do you have any
Sure.
tips about how to do that?
Sure. For any dungeon master who is old enough to have watched television, and by that I mean before the era of streaming and binge watching, when you watched each week and you watched a drama or a sitcoms are the best, who had a stable cast of supporting characters. You know, whether it was the neighbor who flushed the noisy toilet, or the nerd who has the apartment across the hall, or the postman, or whoever it was. Okay, do that. That's what you're trying to play up, because it's the bouncing off the useful NPCs. And okay, for those of you who are young enough to have grown up with Sesame Street, it's amazing how you bump the same characters, Mr. Roper or whoever, and Oscar the Grouch and so on. So you can, for Oscar the Grouch, you can substitute, you know, the homeless guy who's always begging on the same street corner, or who's always selling you something on the same street corner. Cut me own throat dibbler if you're a Discworld fan. And they generate news and rumors and make Waterdeep feel real, and they keep the focus tight in on around your player characters. And then they pass on the big news, which is, hey, did you know there was a fire up in North Ward? Did you know that some noble lady was found in a bedchamber not her own? The news is all over the city. And then everybody has different conflicting news and rumors about it. But all this stuff generates things. And then if you don't want to go into every shop, or you don't want your player characters who, yes, indeed, they were the sort who said, okay, what's in the next shop? Okay, what can I see? So what's in the next shop? And I'd be going, Jeez Louise, you know, if you don't want them to have time to do that, that's when one of these things blows up. So they then have to get somewhere else in a hurry, or it's a chance to make a buck. Hey, if you can go to so and so and get him here in time, there's three silver in it for you. Oh, okay. Bing, and off we go, running across the city.
The random carriage that swings by, and they're wearing the El Torcho family livery, and we need your help. There's 5 gold in it for each of you. Get in.
Yes.
Jump in the cab and go. You know? Well,
Yep.
not cab, but you know what I mean.
Yep. Yeah. We used to do that shamelessly a lot, and it worked for me. And the effects, as you can see, it's hardly ruined me at all. But yeah, that's one of the tricks I used all the time, and it actually made the campaign much better, because sooner or later they were generating the next adventure by, let's go see so and so. Let's see if he's caught any more runaways yet. Or let's go see so and so, see if he needs any other shop windows he can't reach fixed yet. And they were trying to earn just enough money to make dinner and make rent and so on. And it was building up their street cred with all of these NPCs who would then trust them. You know, I've been watching you fine adventuring folk this last 10 day, and you strike me as someone I could trust to take this package to this address up in Northward. He will give you a copper coin each when you ask for it, for delivery of this. If you come back to me with the chit he will give you, I will give you much more. And I will give you the next mission. So now they are in a FedEx within the city, and and that's about the time when they turn down the wrong alleyway, and there's 6 guys with not very nice looks on their faces saying, "I think you have a package that we want." And then you've generated the adventures, and then you keep them so busy that to become heroes, to become adventurers, they have to sort of sweep aside all these distractions that you as Dungeon Master are constantly generating in this endless hamster wheel of keeping them busy, and say, no, we're going to go and explore that dungeon. But I've got to get out of here and explore that dungeon. It's been another 10 day. We're behind on the red again, and we still haven't explored the dungeon. How did that happen? And then they all look down the table at the Dungeon Master and say, "It's you, isn't it?" And that's about time you say, heroes impose their will on the world, don't they? And then you sit back and you don't have to do anything because they are tearing across the world, ripping down kingdoms and building their own new ones, and employing cartographers to redraw the maps for the new empire they're building. And you just sit back and go, this D&D thing is sort of fun,
I love it. That's
And
fantastic.
I'm just imagining how easy it would be to, take this, we're going to get this package delivered. And then they, have to deal with a little halfling. They, "Hey, lady, you call him Dr. Jones." And it's a whole misunderstanding of social structure. We turn it into a G.K. Chesterton Jeeves story or something. Sorry, P.G. Woodhouse.
Yes, P.G. Woodhouse. Yes.
Love
Yeah,
it.
but it's very easy. You could do that to the guy, and that way, the players generate the story, and they feel way better about it because they're doing things in the world they want to do. Not, oh yeah, the Dungeon Master bought that dungeon adventure, so now he's going to inflict it on us. The metagaming thing. It's now down to, my character wants to do this in the world. Okay, how do we do that?
Mm-hmm.
So they feel much better because, unlike in the real world, where we usually can't do what we want to do because, hey, we have to show up at our job or whatever it is, suddenly they do get to be the heroes. They do get to do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also, you can easily, for any DM or player that's overwhelmed by the size of Waterdeep or whatever city we're talking about, you just break it down to give them a couple of bits of familiarity and give it a neighborhood that they know, that they understand, that they have expectations about, that they know the people there. And it becomes a comfort zone that you can always return to. And then you can slide in whatever adventure hooks you want. They're in. So,
and there's actually a book, which I believe George has to hand, called Volo's Guide to Waterdeep, that will allow you to pick your...
It's invisible.
Yeah.
Vanish into your background, George.
Hold it in front of your face.
There.
No, or down. There you go.
Your whole face disappears for a second.
Oh, dear. But that allows you to pick the neighborhood you want, because there's enough there you can generate any of them off it. And by the way, even though that book is incredibly expensive and hard to find, it is, I believe, available on the DM's Guild as one of the downloads. So you could still get at the lore.
It's actually on print and demand as well. So you can get a brand spanking new copy.
And then there's this from the box set.
Oh, I have that. I have that.
Yes, but
And I have that.
Are you still getting commission for this stuff, Stephen? You're keen to keep chucking up City of Splendors, honestly.
20 cents a year.
20 cents a...
But you want to know the funny part? I have to put little things like, I have a misprint of this book. I only have pages... I don't have pages 17 to 32 because I have pages 33 to 37.
You got a repeated signature.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, and where did those copies go? Oh, we'll give them to the staff to use for reference because nobody needs the shit that you put on page whatever.
Good thing I have my old files.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least they printed it in something other than 4-point font. So
Hey.
Mouse type, mouse type. Hey, I resemble that remark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am
Mouse
now
type is the best.
apologizing. Past Stephen was wrong when he thought, people want more lore. So the font at which Empires of the Shining Sea is printed at, I can't read anymore. I'm so sorry.
Well, I will admit that I can't really read face and avatars anymore.
Face and avatars, yeah.
Between the background
Yeah, the
and-
background's the worst.
and,
the
and 4-point font. And I used to be able to like, why can't we make it smaller? We can make it smaller and fit more words in. And now it's
Yep.
like,
Yep.
where's the 14-point font? If I hold my phone over it and zoom in.
That's why the PDF is much better because you can at least make it bigger.
Yes.
Oh, well. Meanwhile,
Okay,
back on the dock.
we're on the docks.
We're on the docks.
We're on the docks. Okay.
How do we get to the cult of Sneel?
I found a place for you because we did have a little pre-chat a while ago, and I found a place for your Cult of Sneel. It's
Well-
got to be in, where is it? Blackwell Court,
Oh
What's that?
my goodness.
page
What
209 of Follow's Guide.
Yeah.
Blackwell Court,
All right. I will
meeting place of many gangs of street ruffians, thugs, and cultists over the years.
Yeah.
Well, so it's important to describe what the cult of Sneel is.
No,
So-
don't. No.
No. You gotta first talk about what it
They'll
isn't.
come for you.
Yes.
Be careful. Choose your words carefully. They'll come for you.
It is illegal in Waterdeep to say start a thieves guild, right?
Right.
And it's illegal in Waterdeep to say start a beggars guild. It is not illegal to start a religion. And
Yeah.
so the cult of Sneel is the rat god of the beast cult from Dragon 54, is not a beggars guild. It is not a thieves guild. It is not an informants guild. It is a cult seeking charitable donations. There are 2 or 3 members of the cult of Sneel on every street corner and dock ward. And if you do not make regular tithing donations to the cult of Sneel, they will be sure to share your information with everyone you don't like.
Great.
At least that's how I would play.
That's good. I like that. The Cult of Sneel.
I have the recipes for the rat pie if you
That's
really
right.
want to cheese off.
We've already talked about this. That's right. Blackbird pie.
No,
this
no,
is
no.
rat
Rats are
pie.
protected. No, actually, the thing.
It also says, I'm missing pages 33 to 64 in this book.
So where did you say it again, George? Where it was?
Where is
Black-
it?
It's
Where does
it's,
Fagin hang out?
Blackwell
Fagin is
Blackwell
the cult
Court.
of Sneel.
Blackwell Court. Yeah.
Okay.
What
209 of the Follow's Guide.
And Fagin, or whatever, we'll call him Faginar.
Faginar.
He is a were-rat, although nobody knows that. So he actually
Oops.
has a reason.
Except for anybody who bumps into him.
Well,
That's right.
so at lower levels, this is a fairly dangerous threat of a group, but at higher levels, it's still dangerous, but only because of their information and the fact that they essentially, there's like, they rotated about every 2 or 3 10 days, but there's like these 2 guys assigned to this corner, these 2 guys assigned to this corner. They show up at a regular time, and they're like, give donations to the cult of Sneel. They've got the sign and everything, and they just, a lot of people are smart enough just to throw a copper every time they walk by, if they can afford that. And not everybody in Dock Ward can, but anybody important would know to throw a copper. Otherwise, the cult of Sneel will make it. So you realize why you should donate to the cult of Sneel. So that was what I was thinking.
Luckily, those matronly keepers of the good houses in Duckward, they know to pay them off to stay off of their street corners.
There you go.
That's right.
So,
So what else? So you made it past the cult of Sneel. You made it past Stephen's shop. We know how to-
well, should we talk about the aboleths you inflicted upon this?
That's
fair-
right.
They were sewers. You don't want them just boring.
I just want to know who's the bastard who killed my halfling lord of Waterdeep and turned him into a doppelganger. Oh wait, that was you.
That guy.
I can
That's
neither
right, right
confirm
down
nor
there.
deny.
Eric always has to play with all the toys. All the toys.
That's right.
Get him in the crib with him.
He's got fingerprints all over Waterdeep. Look out.
He's not a doppelganger anyway. He's a greater doppelganger.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yes, yeah, there's a big difference. Oh, yeah.
Look out on me,
difference.
look out.
There goes the neighborhood.
It means he's still a living, breathing personality. You know, a greater
Yeah, but he's
doppelganger
no
just
longer
has.
a happy-go-lucky halfling with a
He is in that
very
personality.
happy human wife, you know.
I apologize for killing Nindle Jalbuck and not telling
Yeah,
anybody.
you should.
I don't really, but I apologize.
At least it
My
sounds good.
Spoken like
apology
a
is
true cult of Sneelist.
my
Hey.
apology is deeply
Well-
sincere.
Well, that's interesting because just looking at Eric's, Waterdeep product, the 15th in the row of Waterdeep products, he actually you actually had a criminal organisation called the Plague Rats, which is
They're
On
totally
the
different.
nose, I'd say.
but clearly the cult of Sneel would be a bit of a front for them, I would have thought.
Well, so the Faganar is actually a former plague rat who has broken off to start the cult of Sneel.
He's on rogue.
Splitter.
Splitter.
But there's actually a feud going on. So if
He's
you
got a
get
rodent.
too chummy with him, you're gonna piss off the plague rats, and if you get too chummy with the plague rats, you're gonna piss off the cult of Sneel.
Well,
So you can't win, basically.
meanwhile, back on the docks.
Back on the
No,
Back on the
back
docks.
Can we talk about the red sashes?
Yes.
One of those things that have been a staple of Waterdeep, but we've never really detailed that much.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I think most
we were
people
wise.
only know who Durnan is, but don't know what an unusual or a typical but individual red sash is. So like if a company of crazed venturers had bumped into a red sash, who would your go-to red sash be other than Durnan?
Oh, you're asking me, or
You want me to answer this? Oh,
Just give us a hint.
I've always had this idea that they're kind of like the Baker Street Irregulars of Sherlock Holmes. They're a bunch of young, nondescript urchin types that they're always watching, they're always listening, and you don't always notice them, which is what makes them so effective. And they get back to Durnan, and Durnan gets back to those who could actually do something about this.
So the red sashes don't actually do the work; they just bring the information up to Durnan, who shares it out.
and there is a problem with that in that the lore tells us they quite often have done some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're vigilantes, so they operate
Yeah.
outside the law, and Durnan created them specifically for that reason. He's a Lord of Waterdeep.
Yeah.
He wants to keep law and order in his city. He wants the rule of law to be there, but he's pragmatic enough and understands that sometimes the rule of law doesn't get the desired result for the good of the city. The end justifies the means, basically. So he created the red sashes, I would have thought, to be an adjunct to the political situation in Waterdeep, where the lords could disavow something that occurs, whereas Durnan's very happy that he's a lord and he's found out about this situation and he can fix it on the side.
Yeah.
And
So for the same reason that Commissioner Gordon will turn on the bat signal, you know,
But I've always wondered about how independently he operated in the Red Sashes context, Ed. Whether he consulted with people like Mert or Kelvin, or was it literally his own thing that he made the call every time about what was appropriate and what wasn't?
I think when push came to shove, he made the call, but he avoided push coming to shove and various people starting to regard the red sashes as something that needed to be eliminated by working closely with the people he considered the good guys to avoid it ever coming to that judgment of the red sashes. So in other words, he was self-policing. So they'd never be considered. We have to get rid of these guys. You know, they've become something we can't tolerate in this city. He never wanted that to happen. So I think most of the time he was consulting with.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I would think that he's always got that layer of plausible deniability between him and anything that's going on with the Sashes. It could be that anyone who knows that they are part of this group does not know that Durnan has anything to do with it. It could be some other random contact that sits at a particular table in the yawning portal at all times.
Yeah, but you're not going to fool Mert.
Huh?
I mean, you might.
I mean, I see scenarios where Mert's...
he's in on the secret.
Yeah,
But-
exactly.
Yeah.
But the
And
fact that
someone like Kelvin talking about a problem.
You know, he's always got somebody else acting as a screen. So, you
Yeah,
know,
but there wouldn't be...
the real Red Sash.
There wouldn't be a screen between Mert and Durnan or Kelvin and Durnan. There's no point having that screen.
No, but it could just be that the people who are in the Red Sashes, they report to somebody who's in that back booth right up by the far corner of the bar in the yawning portal. That's where they report.
Oh, yeah.
And the face doesn't matter. Whoever's sitting there doesn't matter. That's the person you tell stuff to. And
Oh,
they
yeah,
get
I
the
don't-
information to the right person.
I don't see them going up to Durnan and going, "Oh, can I talk to you over here about something important?" I mean, that's just too obvious.
Yeah.
So I actually did. Don't remember doing this, but apparently I did detail a couple NPCs from the Red Sashes.
La 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 la.